this bad boy. So, for the next hour, Ashley and Brian from the Lehigh Valley Lehigh Valley Center for Independent Living are going to be talking to us about the ADA and some different technologies and programs that exist and that can be helpful for all of our clients. So I would just like to hand it over to our friends. I'm gonna let you guys take it away.
Thank you. Are you recording already? Did you start the recording?
Recording already.
Okay. So my name is Ashley Petit. I'm an accessibility support coordinator at LVCIL. I'll tell you a little bit about what we do in a second, but I'll let Brian just say hey first.
I'm Brian, the coordinator for accessibility and related programs at LVCIL.
Is this a fancy touch screen to advance?
You can just scroll.
Okay. I'm aging myself. So today we'll do a few different things. We'll talk about LVCIL in general. We are a center for independent living, and we actually don't serve Berks with most of our programs except our assistive tech program. So I'll talk about all that. But there is another center for independent living that would serve the area when that time comes. We'll talk about the Americans with Disabilities Act, a little bit about Tech Owl's different programs, some smart home technology, and funding for AT and AAC. Yes, on this side. Go ahead, Brian.
The Center for Independent Living here in Berks County, I'm pretty sure it's Mobilize in Motion.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
Awesome, thank you. Okay. So to start off, language matters. I'm sorry, I don't know where to stand. I feel very awkward, so I'm just going to go back to my corner over here and kind of look backwards. Person first language is what we promote in our agency. Is this familiar to some of you? Okay, perfect, great. So we say people with disabilities rather than disabled people. Person with autism rather than autistic person, unless directed otherwise, because sometimes they do actually prefer to be called autistic or blind or deaf, whatever it is. So basically, we always start with person first unless they tell you otherwise. Just like anything else, you would address somebody by their name unless they ask you to call them something else, right? So it's not really new. We don't use phrases like suffers from, afflicted by, confined to a wheelchair. And we don't say handicap, so accessible is the new handicap. So even if you're saying like handicap parking, you wouldn't say, you would say now accessible parking. So just kind of moving forward with some of that language. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so LVCIL was founded in 1990. There are 17 CILs in Pennsylvania. Centers for Independent Living don't actually have a place where people live, but we provide services for people to live independently in the community. So there are some core services. Information and referral means if you have any kind of question, you call us, we'll give you that information, and if we don't have it, we will refer you to someone else. So pretty self-explanatory. Advocacy, peer support, independent living skills, and transition. Those are all the core services. And then each Center for Independent Living, or CIL, determines what other services they need based on the needs in their area. We partner with Tech Owl and Pennsylvania Assistive Technology Foundation, and that's our department specifically, so that's what the bulk of our presentation will be about. You can skip this one, I put that in already, thank you. So our specific services for our region, we're in Northampton and Lehigh counties, we're based in Allentown. Accessibility and assistive technology, which is the role that Brian and I have. We do site surveys for ADA compliance, so we work with different companies, townships, parks. One of the big projects we did was a township near us that has 14 different parks, and they asked us to come in and do a survey to see how accessible they were. Spoiler alert, they were not accessible at all. So we then do offer recommendations for how to become more accessible within their means. Community inclusion for young children is a great resource. Now you're all OT students, yes? Does anybody have a specific interest in like pediatrics? Not sure yet, still figuring it out, maybe? Community inclusion for young children is open to anybody in the state, and that's a great resource, or maybe even personally, for young kids with disabilities. It's really like kind of a parent support group and parent knowledge group, really. So if anybody happens to, be interested, you can ask Allison, she can put you in touch with us. We offer housing support, different consumer groups, sign language interpretation services, employment support, and then waivers, supports coordination. Okay. And Brian knows to just jump in whenever I miss anything. He is newer to our team, and I tend to just take over, so he's getting used to me. ADA is Americans with Disabilities Act, signed into law in 1990. Different areas of the ADA include employment, state and government services, public accommodations, commercial facilities, and transportation. And I know this is not brand new to you, so we can go ahead and move to the next part. The definition of disability under the law involves all of these different categories here. So walking, seeing, hearing, speaking, sleeping, breathing, learning, caring for oneself, or working. So basically all areas of life. If one of those areas is affected, then it is a covered disability. Okay, so assistive technology, again, not new to you. We talk about the devices and the services. So the device is the actual object or thing, that tool, whether acquired commercially, modified, or customized, that's used to increase, maintain, or improve functional capacities of individuals with disabilities. That's a long definition. But usually those tools are not any good unless you have services to go along with them to support that person. So the service is defined as any service that directly assists a person with a disability or the person's family in the selection, acquisition, or use of an assistive technology device. We work with TechOwl, which is through Temple University. It stands for Technology for Our Whole Lives. Every state has an AT Act, so specific funding to help people try and get assistive technology. TechOwl provides services for all of Pennsylvania under that act. And Temple has a whole institute of disabilities, and that's where TechOwl falls under.
How long has TechOwl been around?
That is a really great question. Do you know off the top of your head?
There's like about 15, 20 years.
15, 20 years? That sounds about right, yeah. We can fact check that though, that's you can move on to the next one, Brian. There are 8 different regional centers, so we're LVCIL in this region over here. We actually cover, oh my god, now I'm drawing a blank, 7 different counties. And we have quite a radius, so each region takes care of all the assistive technology needs within that region. As your Assistive Technology Resource Center, we can help you understand your AT options, provide any forms, applications, submit any applications on your behalf, but really we're kind of like your first stop if you have any questions. I wanted to also mention if anybody wants to stand up or go lean against, do whatever you need to do. You don't have to just sit. So don't ask any questions. All right, so TechOwl has a bunch of different programs. I'm going to highlight 3 of them specifically today, but I'll run through a little bit now. So the AT Lending Library is an awesome resource. You can try this as service professionals, students, or people with disabilities. I'll get into more detail. We offer one-on-one demonstrations of how to use different devices. We have different programs like the national, what they call deaf-blind equipment distribution program. So if somebody has both hearing and vision loss, they may have difficulty using a device, and there's a special program for that. TechOwl offers emergency preparedness, so different options for kind of some of those larger scale emergencies and how to plan for them, or even smaller scale emergencies, but just making sure that you're including people with disabilities in those plans. There's an AAC community, so that along with ACEs is geared towards users of augmentative communication devices. We have a reuse equipment program, so people donate equipment to us, and then we are able to give them back out to anybody in need. So those are things, right now we have like walkers, wheelchairs, we have Hoyer lifts, we have magnifiers, we have just lots of different things. Commodes, we always have a ton of commodes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's actually really good, because I know Goodwill has
the restore, but they also get like to a certain limit where they
Yes.
can't accept
Yes.
anymore.
Yep. So always use us as a resource there, or if you need something, a patient, a family, a friend needs something, it's the device is theirs to keep as long, they can donate it back if they need it short term, but for the most part,
That's awesome.
theirs. Yeah.
Just jump in, and
Mhm.
also if we don't have it, we'll refer you to places that might have it.
Mhm.
So always reach out, and we'll try to help you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Connect with Tech helps people receive tablets, and then Create Together is our 3D printing catalog, and we'll talk a little bit about that too. Are you familiar with assistive technology continuum? Does that sound familiar? Okay, good. Some head nods. So basically, it moves like everything in life. It's a spectrum. It's a continuum. We move from no tech all the way up to high tech devices. No tech is stuff that's easily available, no electronics required. Things like Post-its, things that most of us use on a daily basis. Low or light tech is a little bit less sophisticated, still readily available, but maybe a little bit more specialized. The picture of like pencil grips, for example. Medium tech might require a little bit of training, a little bit of electronic kind of components, all the way up to that higher tech, the very advanced, very specific training, very expensive typically. So those are kind of the variations. On to next. So I have picture overload here to show you the continuum of devices regarding painting. So all the different options. Sure, some of this is very familiar to you. Different kinds of grips depending on the individual's fine motor. This one over here, I don't know if you can see in the corner, has the paintbrush kind of up here on the back of the hand instead of relying on a grip. Different options here, all again moving through the continuum. This one is attached to the head, so if an individual only has head control, they can still participate in painting. This is another kind of option that sort of does some of the movement for them. This is a puff switch, so this person is using their computer to do like a digital kind of painting using that breathing switch. And then down here is a cool picture of a little one in a power wheelchair. This is like a trailer kind of attachment paintbrush spongy thing, which is really neat. So that person's able to participate, and it looks like it's kind of an art expo thing going on there. One of the programs we have is TDDP. We refer to it as the Free Special Phones Program. So if an individual is not able to use a phone in a quote typical way because of a disability, they might be able to receive a phone from us. There are some eligibility requirements. So again, that disability has to prevent them from being able to use the phone. Be 6 years of age or older. There's a gross income threshold. The person has to have current telephone service. We don't provide the actual plan, we just provide the device. And then they have to have the ability to learn how to use the device. So a lot of the times we get referrals for this program for people who have deafness, hearing loss, speech impairment, blind or low vision, and physical and intellectual disability. So really kind of across the board. I would say we see a lot of, lately especially, older individuals who are maybe losing their sight or losing their hearing and have to navigate this whole new world. And now we're trying to give them a smartphone to try to figure that out too. So we have different options for devices. I think on the next page here. Yep. So everything from bigger button amplified phones, signalers, caption phones, speaker phones, all the way up to those smartphone devices.
And also, like, the person have to kind of have the ability to learn about the device. So we kind of do a demonstration prior to accepting the person onto the program. So it's something to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The library is one of my favorite programs. So I mentioned before, anybody can borrow. Any resident in Pennsylvania. You would log in, it's a quick link online, you reserve your items, they come to you via UPS, no cost to you, return shipping label is included, so it goes right to your home. Loans are 5 weeks long, so you can keep a device, try it out for 5 weeks. We do also have iPads, those are longer, those are 9 weeks. A lot of people use those to try out communication devices and things like that. Again, it's completely free. I think on the next slide, we'll see some different options. So a big range of things that are available too. I think there's about 400, I don't know if you've looked lately, but 450-ish kind of devices that are available. And they're kind of ever changing that inventory. So if you've looked once, maybe give it a look again, because we're always trying to keep up with demand of what people are in need of. You can also request a device. So if there's something that you're looking for and they don't have it, there's a little thing you can fill out to request a device, and they try to get it whenever they can.
Cool.
Can you go back one, please? Thanks. So I'll just kind of run through a few of these. Big magnifiers, as I mentioned, iPads, different kinds of home phones. You can't borrow a cell phone through the library, but the home phones you can just plug into any wall there. There's some random things like long-handled garden tools. There's a whole senior independence kit that's pretty popular. Then there's random things, as I mentioned, that you might not even think of as assistive technology. Some of those weighted vests. We have like stove shutoffs. We have different like smart home technology available too. And then the 3D printing catalog is a quick and easy process as well. They have all of these things kind of ready to go. You just request what it is. They print it off real quick and mail it to you, again, totally for free. So we have, just all different devices. Nail clipper holders, like pencil grips, reading guides, key helpers, signature guides. And again, if there's something that you're in need of, you can request it and they'll try to find the files for it or find a way to get it to you. If anybody has any questions or comments, yeah.
Wait, so they'll send you the file, or they'll send you the actual 3D printed?
They'll send you the actual printed thing, yeah. Okay, are you familiar with augmentative and alternative communication? Okay, good. Includes all different kinds of communication besides verbal speech. So gestures, facial expressions, all that sort of things, pictures, symbols. I can go to the next one. Now Picture is one of our, one of those social groups where they connect users of AAC together in more of like a social kind of camp setting. So that's what you see there. That's one of the temple programs. Again, back to that spectrum continuum, no tech, unaided, all the way up to that super high tech. So no tech, signs, gestures, facial expressions, vocalizations, body language. Light tech, we're talking things like pictures, using an object to communicate, photographs, communication boards, writing, all that sort of thing. Mid-tech are those single button sort of devices, recordable and digitized. So you can record a voice and then the person hits the button and it states the voice. I use that quite a bit when I taught early intervention. I taught a preschool class and I had a bunch of kiddos who were not able to say their names. So they were still able to participate in circle time by pushing the button and saying, "Good morning, my name is so-and-so." And then high tech, some of those really big, complicated systems that are very expensive and take a long time to learn. And again, just kind of a picture, here's the button switch I was referring to. This is a more simple option of the AAC using just the PECs or the picture cards. Different apps you can put on an iPad or the dedicated devices that are just for AAC. And then a more simple kind of option where this is actually going to speak out loud, but there's only 4 options. So maybe somebody isn't able to handle all of the choices yet. But again, they have a variety of different options from simple messages to writing entire speeches, and really cool. Always important to have a backup for any kind of AAC. You may never move past light tech with an individual, and that's okay. Or somebody might take off and really benefit from a more complicated system. But definitely always have a backup. So that if something breaks, if somebody is participating in an activity where it's too dangerous or not safe to have their device, or like swimming, for example, you can print out an extra copy, put it in a waterproof sleeve, and that person still has their voice. It's always important to remember that that is the person's voice. And it's not good unless it's with them. One of my other roles, I go into childcare centers and help teachers work with individuals, young kids with disabilities. And so you would not believe how many times I'll ask about their communication board. And I'm like, "Oh, it's in their cubby over there." I'm like, "Well, what good is that? Like, it needs to be with them, right? So rule number one, if you take anything away from today, please make sure they have access to their communication board or device. You probably know a lot about the options in different smartphones. I can't necessarily promote one product over the other, but I will tell you that Apple has a wonderful accessibility. They prioritize accessibility quite a bit, and a lot of users who are blind or have low vision use Apple products specifically because they find they're a little bit easier to navigate. But it's ever changing. There's options for all different smartphones or companies. There's a lot of things built in already that you don't actually need any kind of special device for. Magnifiers, door detection, so you can use your magnifier, it'll tell you kind of what's around you, if there's a door, scan people's faces, all that sort of thing. Text to speech, you can adjust the sensitivity to touch, you can get sounds to text, you can do amplifying sound, you can reduce background noises, all sorts of different things. And then there's an option called assistive access, which is a kind of a newer option. Do you talk about any of the stuff with phones or devices a little bit? Maybe some of you have kind of experimented on your own or just are familiar, but assistive access is a cool one. It's a little bit newer, but so they're still working out some of the kinks, and it doesn't work with like Siri yet, so it's getting there. But it limits the options that an individual has. So you can have, maybe you have like a grandparent, for example, and they're way overwhelmed by all of the apps on the phone, but you can just choose text, cell phone, and camera, and then those are the only things that they have access to. As they say, there's an app for that. There's a lot of really awesome apps, and if you have questions about anything, we can help you through that process as well. We don't know all of them, but we can tell you what we've heard great things about. There's apps that you can download where it'll connect you with a volunteer, a sighted volunteer. So if you're blind with low vision, you click on it, you open it, it'll connect you with a sighted volunteer who will tell you whatever you need to know. So maybe you've got a little disoriented and you don't know what street you're on, or maybe you need help reading a recipe and you just can't get it. It's all volunteer based and it's all free. So
There's the one that we learned on the webinar, the OKO,
Yeah.
where cross the streets.
yes, yeah. Different ones will tell you when it's okay to cross. Yeah, just really awesome stuff. Okay. So now I'll talk about kind of each category of the ADA based on what they have defined as the different disabilities. I just want to check my time here. Perfect. So some different hearing devices that are available. Let me just try to figure out where I want to start here. If you think of all the things that we rely on hearing for, fire alarms, doorbells, all of that, an individual wouldn't know unless they have a way to know, right? If they can't hear it. So there are a lot of devices specific for that purpose. This is a flashing bedside alarm, so if the smoke detector is going off, it'd be hooked up to like a shaker and this is a bed shaker, a whole system, but you could read on the screen and it'll say smoke. You can hook it up to doorbell or oven or whatever it is. This is like a listening kind of device, can amplify sound. So if you're not able to hear me very clearly from up here, it'll amplify what somebody is saying to you. Caption phones. And the bed shakers are great for like alarm clocks too, so they go under your pillow or wherever, and it'll wake you up. Will definitely wake you up. We have sometimes, if these links will work, let's see if we can click on, can you click on? Yeah. So I have different links for devices, and just to give you kind of a sample of some of the things that we don't have possession of, but hopefully you can kind of see. I don't know, you're better at this than I am. Is there a sound option anywhere on that video?
I think the sound is on.
Yeah, there might be. Okay. Well, I can narrate. This is basically just kind of transcribing a whole conversation here and hooking. It's like a video call. You can also transcribe live on your phone. So if you ever are in the presence of an individual who can't hear, you can turn on that setting and it'll transcribe what's being said to them.
That's awesome. And this is an app?
So this specifically is an app, but that is built into the devices.
Cool.
So yeah, you can go on to the next one, Brian. It's okay. Thank you. Okay, and then here's some things for seeing. So voiceover and screen readers, it'll read everything that's on your phone to you. JAWS is specific for like computer access. It reads everything on the screen. We have an individual in our agency, and I forgot to mention this. So at any given point in our agency, 51% of the board and staff members are people with disabilities. So we try to really say, we go by the slogan, nothing about us without us. So you can't serve people, say you serve people with disabilities if you're not actually giving those people a voice to tell what they need. So anyway, so we have a coworker who uses JAWS as well as her phone, and then I hooked up her watch for her, and you walk into her office and things are just talking all over the place, and and she just used it. I mean, she's been doing it like almost 20 years probably. So it's just amazing to see when it works. It's so overwhelming as somebody with sight to kind of go in and try to figure all this out and how are we gonna all hook it up, but once the person gets used to it, it's great. It's really awesome. This is a little pen friend reader, so you can put special stickers on something. There's a picture of a medication bottle there where you can record what it is. So, you know, if you just want to make sure you don't accidentally take the painkillers instead of your vitamins or whatever, you can touch the device to the sticker that you've pre-recorded and it will remember what it is and it'll tell you which bottle it is. Different, again, like kind of a magnifying device, braillers, and then this is a specific phone for people who, it's meant for people who are blind or have vision loss. It's a more simplified phone that it reads out loud to you. If we can get any of those links or sound, that would be awesome. Let's see what we can find.
Let's start with this one.
Yeah. Maybe it's just, yeah.
Meet Ira, the leading visual interpreting service for the blind and low vision community. With a simple tap of a button on our mobile app, Ira connects individuals with professionally trained visual interpreters.
Thanks for calling Ira. How can I help you?
And needing some help getting up to the 5th floor.
Elevators are in this bay here.
Trying to purchase some tickets to go on the subway? Certainly.
I'm looking for a graphic in this textbook for a class.
It's like a diagram that labels different parts of the brain.
Similar to the sign language service companies like Sorensen, Purple, Convo, and others are providing to the deaf and hard of hearing community, Ira provides visual interpreter services for the blind and low vision community. Visual interpreting offers audio descriptions to guide navigation, tasks, and more. Whether understanding surroundings, navigating, shopping, or simply browsing, users trust Ira in our ever-evolving digital and physical world. It all starts in our app and results in on-demand 24/7 assistance from a trained visual interpreter, ready to provide visual information at any time. Our visual interpreters undergo a rigorous selection process and professional training to assist with a variety of tasks. And the door should be on your left and about 20 feet. Top organizations committed to inclusion include industry leaders like Microsoft, Amazon, Starbucks, Bank of America, and Target. Use Ira to provide complimentary access to customers and employees. Using geofencing, Ira ensures secure access to our visual interpreters within a custom selected perimeter, making it seamless and integration-free for all blind and low vision individuals. By joining the Ira Access Network, you'll pay an annual subscription fee, covering usage on-site of all your locations. The same organization's committed to creating an inclusive workplace.
It did that yesterday, Jerry, too. So you can pay for those options. There is a free version as well that uses more of AI, and you are entitled, I just searched real quick, I can't remember the details, but it's a certain amount of hours for free. I think it's a 5-minute call every 48 hours or something, I don't know. That would be included with your free plan. And then there's all different options that are paid. Let's do OrCam, please. So OrCam My Eye is a device that we actually have in the lending library that you could borrow. That was one.
Download?
Yeah, I went up to the top there.
Yeah.
There we go. If you open it.
Introducing OrCam My Eye, the most advanced wearable AI for vision impairment. The tiny device magnetically snaps onto the side of glasses and instantly reads text to you from any surface. All you have to do is point.
White chocolate cookies.
OrCam's innovative smart reading feature works instantly and discreetly.
Start smart reading. Read me the headlines.
Found 2 headlines. First result, OrCam My Eye to name 2 times listed. Second result, Genesis Prize Foundation.
Read me first article.
OrCam My Eye 2, an Israeli-made system.
OrCam My Eye can also assist with your orientation.
What's in front of me?
1 door to your left and 1 door to your right.
Identifying objects and helping with your mobility.
What's in front of me?
1 person is in front of you with 1 empty chair to your right.
Seamlessly recognize faces.
Matt Jansen.
Money notes.
$50.
Products and more. All in real time, without the need for an internet connection. Lightweight, intuitive operation in a device the size of a finger. OrCam My Eye is used by tens of thousands of people in 25 languages and 50 countries, helping them to live more independently and improving their quality of life. OrCam My Eye, personal AI technology with a life-changing impact.
There are also some other services. This is not the only smart glasses around. There's like Envision glasses or Meta glasses, the Ray-Ban Meta glasses.
A lot of cool things. Okay, go to the, oh, is it the screen? Yeah, okay, thank you.
I was like,
Okay. Go ahead, Brian, you want to go to the next one? So the next category here is mobility. Again, a lot of really neat options for people depending on how high tech you can go. Let's look at Tolt Technologies first. I don't know if this is on, oh, maybe it's a YouTube, I think.
Technologies like LVCIL and the Tobii Eye Tracker PCI 5.
Tobii Eye Tracker.
Let's start. So I have the program opened up, and in the middle you have a stop sign, we have right, left, and forward, and we also have some diagonal lines to kind of make the transition a little easier. So I'm going to look up to the front, we're going to go forward, and we're going to turn right this way.
That's all just your eye gaze.
And you can see right through the screen, so I know exactly where I am and what I'm doing. And we can navigate really tight spaces. I can go back there and I'm going to show you up and turn.
That's awesome.
And then up this way, turn right. I can navigate real tight spaces, turn left or right, pull up to tables. It's super simple.
So you see that.
And I find it.
Think of the independence that gives somebody. Sometimes those abilities change over time. So maybe if an individual was able to use a joystick and only can use their eyes at another point, still maintaining some of that independence. Or again, it doesn't have to be in that situation, but in any case, really just giving someone that much control over where they're going and how they're getting there.
Can anybody think of a diagnosis that might require that kind of a progression in use of technology? CP, potentially? What else? MS, SCI potentially, muscular dystrophy, ALS, Huntington's. Yes.
This is a cool device. I don't actually remember the name of it, but it allows somebody who doesn't typically stand to stand and move upright. So rather than sitting in a chair, still maintains all the support on the bottom half so that the person is safe, but can then move around and look people eye to eye. So if you think about the difference that makes, always looking up at people and being eye level. So let's just click on the last one there, Glass House. This one will go.
Everyone deserves a chance to experience the
Don't want to chat with you.
Just want to turn it off. Sorry. Try it there.
their own life in their own unique way. However, over 1 billion people around the world are experiencing the effects of disability. The first Glass House was invented in 2016. For 6 years, Glass House has been helping persons with disabled limbs go back to daily life. Over time, we have found that most people with disabilities have their own unique, personalized needs. To help every user to the greatest extent possible, we have developed the brand new Glass House Pro. The product was developed with customer participation. We collected user needs based on actual demand and transformed them into product functions. In mouse mode, you can control your mouse by swinging your head. Select the switch mode and then control the smart device by just moving any part of the body. Even if you are alone, you don't have to worry about switching devices. Just using Assisted Switch, you can switch between devices by yourself. If you want to play games, it's no problem. Pro has joystick mode. As for the wireless button problem, we also considered it for the users. The Glass House Link is a new product in 2022. Connect G-Switch to Link and it becomes a wireless button. Is it over? Not yet. You can customize the functionality of your individual Glass House buttons through the APP. It can be adjusted to the sensitivity of the X-axis and the Y-axis separately. If you have further need, Glass House Pro's modular design offers a solution. It has 6 wearing accessories and 9 different clicks of its G-switches. Glass House has long been convinced that everyone is very important and that their needs are equally important. That is our goal, to offer disabled people an adaptable technology that enables them to experience life on their terms. Thank you for your support.
And I have to say too, like I'm not promoting any product over another. I'm not a salesperson. I don't receive commission if you like something or don't like something. I just wanted to show you, obviously the trailers and the commercials are going to show you the highlights and the best parts of the product. So just wanted to show you some different options. And I think on the next page, different options for gaming and recreation. Honestly, not my specialty, but all different options. This is a Switch activated water gun, which is really neat.
Cool.
Different gaming options here, different joysticks, touchpad switches. That is the Temple University Tech Owl space. Another individual who's using the mouse with his mouth. And this is like kind of a guide rope for maybe like a running game or something like that. Then we get into the areas of daily living. Adaptive utensils. This is like a lift that goes over the toilet. So if a person can't stand up from the toilet, it kind of lifts them to stand. Adaptive knife here. This is, you would put the toilet paper in the one side and it gives you a little extra to reach. What is it called?
A bottom buddy.
Bottom buddy. And this is an OB dining robot. Are you familiar with the OB by any chance? This is cool. We work with Good Shepherd. They have a great space. They're located in Allentown too. They have a great space where people can try different devices, and we're pretty active with their staff. A lot of their OTs have borrowed this. This is in our library as well. So there is a video about the OB dining robot. Depending on how sensitive you are, it might bring some tears to your eyes.
Golf was one of my favorite passions. Offshore powerboat racing, skydiving, just about anything and everything I could do to keep myself outside. When just during a normal workout, just doing normal weights I would do every day, my right arm started to fail. And that's when he looked at me and said, "You have 3 to 5 years to live, and you need to get your affairs in order." My name is David Heron. I'm from New Baltimore, Michigan, and I was diagnosed with ALS in February of 2011.
I've watched my grandfather and so many others like David Hare struggle with disease and disability. And despite the compromises they face, there's always a hope, a will for a better future. And I'm inspired by that. 6 years ago, I decided to be part of that future. My name's John Deckar, and I'm the creator of a new robotic device. It's been a long road, but it's finally time. Meet Obi. Obi can accommodate nearly any position to ensure that the dining experience is on your terms. In a matter of seconds, the caregiver grasps the arm and teaches the delivery location. At your command, it's Obi's nature to strategically capture and deliver your food. We've married beautiful style and essential functionality to deliver a product that not only works seamlessly, but looks great doing it.
Using it for the very first time, I was starstruck. It was tearful because I could sit across and look at my wife now and feed myself and let her enjoy her meal. It was just wonderful that I could find something that would lessen the load on her. It changed the direction of my life. I tell people ALS stands for always losing something. Obi has given me something back, a sense of independence, getting that even a little bit back. You cannot put a price tag on that.
So yeah, like I said, a little bit rough. There's a lot of disabilities that just don't make sense, and ALS is a hard one for me.
It
So
takes so much.
yeah. Okay, so deep breath and moving on. We have one of our other partners is Pennsylvania Assistive Technology Foundation. Actually, I have some brochures and stuff we'll hand out for you. One of their projects is a Smart Homes Made Simple project. Some of you may use smart home technology, Alexa, all that kind of thing in your home. Not really necessarily thinking about how it could impact people with disabilities. So when smart home technology is used for people with disabilities to, I hate to say the word like overcome their disability, but like to give them independence because of the disability or directly related to the disability, it is considered assistive technology. So some of these things are really readily available and may be being used already. We do have some time. Are you all bored to tears yet? Are you okay? You're good? Okay. Let's go through, start at the Smart Homes Made Simple. This is PATF's website. So that's okay. No, it's okay. I can't remember why I put it up there either. There's a whole guide where you can, if you scroll down, there's an you can choose your goal. And then you can take it, or you can take an assessment to figure out where the needs are. So options like controlling the environment, a personal assistant, safety, remote supports from a caregiver is a really cool one, as well as telehealth. So all different options there. And then there's different success stories. I think I linked separately. Yeah. Let's do, Alexa's is a little bit long, but let's start with Alexa's. I'll just watch the beginning of that one. And so when you first see Alexa, take note of your internal thoughts. No judgment, but just take note of it.
Hi Alexa, thank you so much for having us at your house today so that we could talk about smart home. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm from Cumberland County in central Pennsylvania.
From Cumberland County in central Pennsylvania. Graduated from Edinburgh in 2013.
And so now you live in your own home. When did you move here?
2015.
And do you have family nearby?
Yes, we live 15 minutes away.
Family's 15 minutes away.
So that's close enough if there's an emergency, 15 minutes away. Do you work?
I work for the Arc of Pennsylvania as the social media manager, and I've been doing that for 9 years.
She's worked as a social media manager for 9 years.
2014. I also volunteer for South Advocates United as when I'm the president of the board.
President of the board of Self Advocates United?
Yes.
Oh, so fabulous. Well, what got you interested in smart home devices?
Well, my two sisters, they live in their apartment, so I wanted to do the same thing, and I was always very independent.
Thanks. So that's perfect right there. Why did she want to do this? Her sisters live in their own apartments and she wanted to as well. So when I said to check your thoughts when you first saw Alexa, you're welcome to raise your hand and be honest or not. That's okay, but did you think to yourself, well, she's definitely working full time. She's definitely living by herself. She can do everything herself, right? Probably not. So smart home technology has made that possible for her. We can we'll watch a little bit longer.
When I started looking into how I could control my home.
So what were your first devices?
And Amazon Echo Dot. I have 3
She has 3 Echo Dots.
So you got an Amazon Echo Dot, 3 of them, and what did you want that dot to do for you?
Well, at first it could only turn on the light, because I figured out how to connect it to my lighting system.
You can control her lights with it.
The reason I got it is so that I wouldn't have to scream throughout the house when I was in bed.
I think that makes sense. So the first thing you had to do was turn on and off lights, and then you could use it as an intercom, so you wouldn't scream throughout the house to get some help. I think that makes sense. What do you use the Echo for now?
Primarily when I'm in bed, I set my alarm, and then if I need anything during the night, I can stop it, turn me through. Because there's usually ways I can when it was sex trouble getting their attention.
I think that makes a lot of sense. So first of all,
Yep, so she uses that for her alarm to help her get some help. As you can see, she gets a little bit fatigued as she's talking longer and longer, so at nighttime is not her prime time. We can go back to the presentation. And let's just look at George, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm George Russo. I want to thank the Pennsylvania Assistive Technology Foundation for introducing me to Wireless Tech Earth and inviting me to talk about smart home technology that I've incorporated into my apartment. I've been working as an assistive technology assistant at LVCIL since 2006. LVCIL has been a part of my adult life since 1996 as a client, a volunteer, and ambassador for PRC. and now as an employee. I have an associate degree in computer science from Miami-Dade Community College. I live independently in my own apartment. Current device I am using is the Accent, which is the 5th communication device I use made by the Prent Ceramic Company. I have a Sunday ritual where I ask Alexa to play WPHT radio, which plays Frank Sinatra music for 2 hours.
How did you get started with smart home technology?
My supervisor at LVCIL, Joy McGowan, surprised me with Alexa about 3 years ago. I was able to set up Alexa to access the lights and fan by purchasing smart plugs from Amazon. Alexa, turn on lights.
He has all the functions hooked up to his communication board or his communication system, rather than how Alexa used Alexa to get
I can text people using this device.
I love the texting part too. I think that's really amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Alexa, turn on TV.
So really cool, I like to highlight their stories because again, first instinct would not be all of the things that they can do living independently, right? No matter how advanced and supportive we are. That's just not necessarily our first thought, but hopefully that changed your thoughts a little bit, is to see what's possible. You can go to the next one. So all of this is wonderful and great, except how do we pay for it? Any ideas working through anything that you've worked through so far? There's some options up on the board there. Medical insurance is always the first option if a person is lucky enough to have medical insurance. As you know or will become familiar with very soon, insurance finds ways to deny everything for every ridiculous reason. So always try medical insurance first. Don't give up that fight. If it seems like something the person is entitled to, keep fighting. In the meantime, another plug for us, if you need something in the meantime, you can always come to us. If we have it in our reuse program, we'll give it to you, and if insurance comes through, great, we'll take it back. If not, don't worry about it. So really important just to know the resources that are out there too. School district should be paying for devices for their students. Again, should being the operative word. It gets hairy, hairier than it should under the law, but in any case, that's an option as well. You can find it used, lots of private foundations or charities, crowdfunding, the GoFundMes. You can buy it outright and you can get a loan. So on the next page, we talk about Pennsylvania Assistive Technology Foundation. So they're the ones that have the Smart Home Technology Program. If you call, they are a resource statewide, a nonprofit, to help people find ways to pay for assistive technology. So if you call them, they are supposed to walk you through different options through their funding guide. So if an individual has CP, for example, there may be specific foundations that will offer grants to children with CP or whatever. So there's all those kind of different options for grants, and PATF keeps a comprehensive guide of all those options. I was going to say something related to the previous slide and I forgot. They help people with all different kinds of disabilities, all ages, all income levels, which is important to note. So some of those middle class people who maybe, quote, make too much money on paper but don't have $8,000 laying around to buy a device, PATF is a great resource for them as well. They do have loans, so under $7,000 is 0% interest, and up to $60,000 is 3.75% interest. So depending on how much you know about credit so far, those are great, and knock on wood, they stay low. They've been able to stay stable for a long time, but can make a really huge difference in somebody being able to afford something without that interest. definition of assistive technology is also very broad. So they cover things like adapted vehicles, home modifications. So if somebody needs their bathroom redone.
First floor setup, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all different options through through PATF. They also offer financial education as well. So it's geared for people with disabilities with some of the more specific, like Able savings accounts and things specific to people with disabilities, but anybody can use their financial education stuff as well. They have a whole webinar online. They focus on some of those like scams and just kind of being aware of the latest things that are going on. So again, things that can benefit anybody.
Yeah.
I think that's the next one. Okay, so we have brochures and folders and flyers here. Do you want to hand these out maybe?
I don't know if I got it now.
No, that's okay. I probably have some more, but
Okay.
yeah. So we'll start there. We have PATF information in English and Spanish, and Tech Owl information. I think I have some in English and Spanish too. On the board there is a QR code. If you would be so kind as to take a survey for us, we'd appreciate it. It just shows our funders that we were actually here talking to real people, so I appreciate that.
You guys exist.
Yes, we were here. We have video evidence for this one, so that's great too. I have like cards for PHF, but I don't have the brochure, so if you don't have enough, that's okay. Oh, perfect. I love your little packets of organization. No, you're good. You scared me.
I thought that I put something.
Oh, okay. Start handing some of these out for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody have any questions, thoughts?
Questions, comments, observations? Thank you. That was wonderful and very informative. Yeah, let's a round of applause.
Yeah.
It's Friday. Yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you so